Good morning, Wolfman fans. I hope you're having a great day. But I have a few things to talk about, like I do. So, let's get started. Let's get right on into it. Let's not hesitate. What do I want to talk about today? I want to talk about COVID, coronavirus, COVID-19, whatever you want to call it, however you want to refer to it, the Rona, maybe. Look, and I know I've gone on about this for a number of times for at length, ad nauseum, if you will. But there was an incident just this morning. My wife, a small business owner herself, specifically a salon owner, she had to shut her business down initially for the whole big COVID outbreak where they shut down all the small businesses, just the small businesses, because Walmart, Target, Home Depot, Lowe's, places like that, big chain stores were perfectly fine to remain open. And from what I understand, there wasn't any confirmed cases of coronavirus with any of their employees. But that's neither here nor there. That's probably a topic for another day, and maybe someone else who's more understands the inner workings of Walmart and places like that a little bit better than I. Maybe they should cover that. But moving on, she had to close her doors to her business for a little while. Unfortunately, in her case, and in any place that is run like a service industry like that, like her specifically, or tattoos or stuff like that, you go by the Texas licensing department. And if they were to have found her open, or in this case at the moment, find her operating without using face masks, she could risk her business being shut down, being fined at the very least, but business shut down, license revoked. There's a lot of things that could happen, and that's unfortunate. By the way, I'm just noticing this on my screen, and this is off topic. If you see like the red, white, and or blue of the flag showing up on my shirt or something right here, yeah, you see how that's happening right there? How it's kind of like, that's because there's my phone is cracked, and it's right at the edge of the camera lens, so you're getting a weird little camera effect there. In fact, let's see if I can fix that a little bit. No, doesn't look like it. Anyway, back to what I was saying. So she went to go pick up some supplies for her salon, specifically like some bottled water. She likes to buy big packs of bottled water. She needs to get, paper towels, toilet paper, those kind of things. It's for customers. These are things that she has in her salon for her customers, for their use. She has to keep stocked up on it. So she goes to Costco, all right? And Costco, she gets there about 9 o'clock. Now, Costco's already been open. They opened at 8. But when she gets there, she gets turned around at the door and told that she can't come in because this time from 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. was set aside for senior shoppers only. So the senior, the elderly, okay? Why? And go work with me here. You'd want the because I understand that they're the most susceptible to coronavirus. Here's the thing though. Would you not want the store to be at its absolute peak of sanitation? So why not from 8 to 9? No, plenty of seniors are awake at that period in time. And here's the thing. It's not like the store is shut to seniors for like the rest of the day, that they can only shop at that time period. No, they can shop all day, whenever the hell they want. It doesn't matter. But it's just assured for this hour that there's no younger people in the store. Now, there's a number of ways we can look at this. I'm going to specifically, though, talk about how I look at this. This, to me, was come up with by a person who doesn't particularly, in my eyes, like younger people. This is came up with by a person who likes to shop without younger, skinny jeans, man bun having millennials hanging around him. Which, look, if that's not your thing, I understand. I don't particularly like the skinny jeans man button look either, but they're people, and there's nothing saying that they're bad people. They just need to shop just like anybody else. But this sounds like some old person stuff. First. Secondly, and this is probably the most important part, this is some stuff that came out from a high corporate level, not from a high level boss. This is an underling somewhere at corporate level who's trying to get himself noticed and probably trying to get promoted. Don't let a good crisis, don't waste a good crisis. Use it to your advantage. So he takes this opportunity to come up with this great idea an idea, a policy that they can implement now to mitigate risks of infection of the people who are most susceptible, the senior population. This guy probably got a promotion for this. This is what in the military, and as I have found out since I've been out of the military, it is used actually a lot more frequently than I thought. But this is what we would refer to as the good idea fairy. Now, for those of you who are unaware of what the good idea fairy is, the good idea fairy is a small creature that likes to flutter in the window, normally during some kind of meeting or something of that nature. Usually a meeting of like big wigs and stuff that are like trying to figure out how to run everybody else's lives. This little fairy flutters in the window, and they are unique in one particular aspect, a trait that they all share, that their good ideas are never any good. They're always, and it's not like their good ideas are actually bad ideas. No. Their good ideas are pointless, stupid, illogical. They make no sense. They're neither really good nor bad. They're just illogical and therefore a nuisance because everybody now has to apply and abide by whatever rule the good idea fairy came out with. Case in point, and this, for any of you that don't understand why I don't trust the whole mask thing and all this, let me illustrate to you a point from my time in the Army. I was deployed on 4 separate occasions. I was deployed to Iraq twice, Afghanistan once, and then I did a 9-month tour in Kuwait for Operation Spartan Shield, which, for those of you who are unaware of what that is, it's basically the same equivalent as Desert Shield was to Desert Storm, okay? It's a waiting action just in case, ISIS started to feel froggy. And I went home just before ISIS started feeling froggy, and we went back into Iraq. Anyways, that's neither here nor there. My point is, I was over there for a while and several times. So you're in a combat zone. I know I was a FOB-it. I was a helicopter mechanic. I didn't leave the FOB. But the fact of the matter was, I was still downrange. And your downrange uniform is camouflage. Now, I don't know if nowadays that seems just like a redundancy because, we don't really need camouflage as much nowadays with the kind of technology we have, but it still does serve a purpose, and we still do wear it. And its purpose, in many cases, its value cannot be understated. So we go downrange wearing our camouflage. Well, in one situation, while I was in Iraq, a soldier decided to go for a run at night with his earbuds in, and apparently his music cranked pretty loud. And at that very same moment, a truck driver, this is like one of our LMTVs, this is a large cargo truck, driving down the road apparently without any headlights on, or at least that's what I understand, hit this soldier. I don't know if he injured him or killed him, but he hit him nonetheless. So, perfect storm of events, characterized by immensely stupid people. Okay, you shouldn't have been running down the road in the dark with your earbuds in at all. Especially in this case, he was on the wrong side of the road. You know, if you're a runner, you're supposed to you're supposed to run on the left side of the road so that oncoming traffic sees you directly and you see them. It's that kind of thing. They don't come up behind you. You see what I mean? Well, he wasn't apparently doing that either. He was on the wrong side of the road. So, stupid individual running, stupid individual operating the vehicle, and stupid individual as a TC or truck commander. Every vehicle in the military driving has a driver and a TC. So there's always two people at least. If that truck had no headlights to begin with, it shouldn't have been driven. If it was just driving without its headlights turned on, why? That's insane. Let's say they were doing some NVG training, NVG driving, which is a thing, by the way. We do training with just driving with just NVGs, no headlights. How was this runner not seen? Perfect storm of circumstances and stupid people is what took place. This isn't something that's a commonality. You could say that this situation was an outlier of a situation that you wouldn't typically see. But somebody had the brilliant idea in order to mitigate this risk in the future. Let's all wear reflective belts at times of low light. So what that ended up being is 6 p.m. to 6 a.m. At 6 p.m., man, at 1800, boom, put on your PT belt. And this didn't just happen on that one fob. This went across the Middle East, all our different theaters of operation for OIF and OEF. The only place that this wasn't an issue was in Afghanistan when I went there in 2011. We didn't do that. But in Iraq and Kuwait and those places, yeah, PT belt. Because you want to be seen at night. It didn't make sense. If you guys are having problems wrapping your mind around that, you're right there with me. For those of you who can't understand why that's an issue, why would I'm wearing a camouflage uniform. Why in the hell would I wear a PT belt too, a reflective belt? By the way, that being said, the individual that was hit by the truck, he was wearing PTs, and part of that PT uniform is a reflective belt. So it's not like the reflective belt did its job in that case anyway, but this is a situation where the good idea fairy fluttered in the door and came out with a completely nonsensical idea that I guess in some goofy way mitigated a non-risk. You see what I'm saying? It's insane, and as if to beat this dead horse further into the ground. Not only did they come up with this idea, but we had an issue that soldiers weren't saluting officers at night because they couldn't see their rank. Well, I'm sorry, the rank is a small square camouflaged patch that sits right here in the chest. And at a distance of, at night, 10, 20, 30 yards, you can't really see unless you know that individual personally. Like in my case, working aviation, I had a lot of pilots, commissioned officers, and warrant officers within the unit. Not just my company, but also the rest of the rest of the battalion. And I was very familiar with the officers. Now, if I saw them coming from a distance and I could recognize them facially, then yeah, I'd know, pop a salute. Although I personally believe you shouldn't have been saluting in a combat zone anyway, but that's just me. I know, again, in Afghanistan, it was a no salute zone. We didn't do that there. For some reason in Iraq, that was the deal. But because some officers weren't getting saluted, we had the idea, let's color coordinate the PT belts. Yellow for lower enlisted, green for NCOs, and blue for officers. So if you saw a blue belt walking by, you knew it was an officer and you got saluted. People probably got commendations and possibly promotions for these ideas. And that's the same thing, going back to my original point, talking about Costco. Costco has this great idea that in and of itself, on the surface, it sounds like it makes some sense, but under any critical dissection of any kind by any rational individual, it quickly falls apart and it makes no sense. You didn't do it at the first hour the store was open. No, the store had already been open for an hour previously. And so people have been in and out of there milling around, sneezing in their hands and wiping it all over everything. So unless you ran around frantically between, 8:45 to 9 with somebody with, Clorox and just wiping everything down, this is a stupid idea and it did nothing. And it's not like you're keeping, again, the seniors from shopping at any other point in the day when they could possibly be exposed to corona from the younger people who may be, quote, asymptomatic. But, whatever, I guess. The thing is, and my wife is very right on this one, people are up and about at this time of day and people need to get things done. And by cutting it off and letting only seniors shop, seniors who are generally, most of them are retired, by letting them dominate the store at that particular period of time without allowing anybody else in is really messing up people's day, okay? Again, somebody got promoted for this. Don't let a good crisis go to waste. Use that opportunity to get yourself promoted, get yourself noticed and recognized. Get yourself a pat on the back if nothing else, okay? Look, this whole corona thing is gone. It's ridiculous. It's gone way too far. You still got a million out there, Kyles and Karens, screaming at people about not wearing a mask. Well, if your mask works, why do I need to wear a mask? Well, it's this mask that I wear isn't for my protection, it's for your protection. Okay? So the mask doesn't protect you, but it protects me. The logic there is staggering. It really is. I don't understand the logic that goes through these people's minds and how they repeat this, whatever this is, to themselves and say, yeah, that makes sense. It doesn't. And if the masks work, why the 6 feet apart? If the 6 feet apart works, why the masks? I have questions that I've never been given an adequate answer to. We say that hospitals have been full and overflowing and there's patients everywhere. And then there was TikTok videos of nurses doing coordinated dances in the hallways at the exact same time that these hospitals were supposedly overflowing with people. Now, I'm not calling anybody a liar, but something's not adding up. They're talking about the vaccine, the corona vaccine that's being pushed by Bill Gates and Microsoft, which should be a red flag in and of itself. But, maybe he's just a philanthropist and he wants to do the right thing by people. Okay, well, they talk about how hydroxychloroquine doesn't work. You know what I haven't seen? Any numbers of hydroxychloroquine and its effectiveness versus this brand new vaccine and its effectiveness. Nobody has shown anybody the numbers, or at least I've not seen the numbers for hydroxychloroquine. I do have a good friend of mine who is a pharmacist in New York, and he has actually talked to me about, yes, this does work. The problem is that we were overdosing people, giving them too high a dosages, which means that the side effects outweighed coronavirus in and of itself, and these people were suffering from the side effects. So they're like, oh, it's ineffective, and they quit using it. Well, of course it's ineffective. You overdose the hell out of them. Aspirin will get rid of your headache. But as famously stated by Cat Williams, you take 13 of them motherfuckers, that'll be your last headache. And he wasn't wrong. You overdose people, the consequences are going to outweigh the risks of the illness that you originally had. So you have something that was misused and then tossed out the window because it was ineffective. And then we're going to untested vaccine. But everybody must get it. And if you don't get it, you can't travel. And what else? Where does it stop there? Are you going to be able to shop at stores? Are you going to be able to go out in public at all? There's a lot of problems with this. That should bother all of you. All the freedoms and liberties that we talk about all the time, 24/7, especially those on the right, we talk about life, liberty, and pursuit of happiness. What happens? You have to get this new driver's license. You guys heard about that one? It's got the little star on it. It's kind of like an interstate passport. They're restricting your freedom of movement as well. And God forbid, you don't have your corona vaccine, and I don't know if the tracking chip. I don't know how true that is. You guys, please let me know. But tracking who's gotten the vaccine and who hasn't. Well, I'll tell you what. Whether I have a vaccine or not is none of your damn business. That's my business. And I'm not anti-vax by any stretch of the imagination. I've had my vaccines, and I plan to, when I have kids, I will vaccinate my children too. But not this. I don't trust this one. And anybody out there, you should be doing the same thing. You should at least ask questions. Don't trust it just because Bill Gates said it was okay. Or Dr. Fauci, who is shady as all hell, says so. Because a politician told you so. Dr. Fauci is the only one of those individuals who's a doctor, and I don't trust him as far as I can throw him. He doesn't exactly have the best track record, okay? Ask questions. Don't accept anything from face value, especially if it's told to you by a celebrity or a politician. Okay? This is where we're going wrong, is we're trusting what politicians and celebrities have to say. Since when do we give a shit? Celebrities and politicians don't make this country run. Politicians' job is to govern. Their job is to manage things. They're not doing a very good job of it. You guys know that. That's what got us into this whole mess within the last, 4 years. They're not doing a good job. There is someone trying to clean it up, and they're fighting him. Okay, so they can continue to make millions of dollars without actually having to do anything. Athletes, they make millions of dollars. Celebrities, millions of dollars. They make millions of dollars. I'm not saying that they're not talented, okay? I'm not saying that baseball players, basketball players, football players, they're whatever sport they play. I'm not saying they're not talented. Sure they are. Actors, talented, whatever. You're talented at acting, at being an actor, and we enjoy seeing you in movies. That's where it stops. I don't need your advice, politically or otherwise. If I have acting questions, I will ask you. What's your advice when it comes to acting? We have questions about sports. What's your advice for somebody wanting to play, baseball professionally? What's your advice? Then I'll ask you. But until that time comes, continue playing a game to make money. And be grateful that someone gave you somebody. I don't know who you're talking about. Somebody. Who could that somebody possibly be that gave you the opportunity to make millions? Millions with an M. If you saved your money, could be billions. Or if you're good enough, they could give you that kind of an offer. Who knows? Sky's the limit at this point. But be thankful that you were given that opportunity to play a game as a sport. That goes for anybody who does something that is a recreational activity and makes money doing it. Be grateful and thankful and shut your mouth, because nobody wants to hear your political opinion. Now, if we're sitting there, friends, just having a discussion, fine. Maybe I asked for your opinion. But don't go out in social media and out in the world, in public and out in the media, and give interviews about your public opinion like it matters. Because we don't care. We really don't. People don't take your advice from these individuals. Ask questions. Always ask questions. And if the information that you are given in return is not satisfactory, don't accept it. We need to go back to a regular world We need to go back to normal life. We need to get back into the game and keep going in this world, keep going in this economy. We need to refuse to lay down and die. We need to refuse to give up. Keep fighting until we die. Until we die. We don't fight to die. We fight until death happens. Okay? Keep going. Keep pushing. Keep going to work, turning the wrenches. Punching the clock. Keep doing everything you do. Keep going about your life. Take off the mask. Go back to work. Brush your teeth. Don't breathe on people. Carry it, sneeze in the crook of your elbow. Hand sanitize. Keep up with public decorum and personal hygiene. And we could solve a lot of issues. Take off the mask and stop buying into government and celebrity fear-mongering. That's really all I have. I hope you guys are going into a great day, and I hope you guys join me for the next video whenever it is I decide to put it out. As always, you guys stay awesome. Take it easy. Keep your head on a swivel, and we'll see you in the next video. Later.